Hey everybody, Brandon Palace here, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about gesture drawing, which is one of the most important aspects of drawing figures. It's what's going to give your figures life and movement and character. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So I've gathered some reference pictures from characterdesigns.com here. And I'm just going to start working on some gestures here. So the first thing we want to do is we want to kind of establish an overall a line, or use a couple of lines to establish the overall swing of the figure. So with this character here, she's got sort of an S curve going from her head through her torso and down through this leg here, and then she's got this other leg kind of coming this way, right? So we would have this line here and this one like that, and that is a good starting point. We're going to add on, but that will give us something to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and establish the shoulders here, the head kind of leaning back like that. Throw the arm out this way, give her a little bit of projection, a little bit of bowing outward of the chest and diaphragm. I'm going to exaggerate it a little bit because we typically want to exaggerate a little bit when we're drawing. In my opinion, you're never going to capture life exactly. You know, a drawing is not life. So we need to inject a little bit of extra life into it. So this leg, come down this way, have a little arch of the foot there. This leg, boom, back here. And let's see, the other leg is hidden, or the other arm rather. So that's pretty much it. This is a good, simple gesture to get us started. Let's move on. Let's go to this guy over here. Here's a cool action sword pose. So let's start again with a nice, this guy's got kind of a nice swoop this way, right? And then the arms kind of, there's kind of this kind of a thing. And this leg here. Now none of these lines necessarily stand for any particular body part. We're not doing like a stick figure where each of these lines is one particular part of the body. What we're doing is just creating a general overall like sense of motion that we can build off of. So you know, this is pretty good here. We got the shoulders, we got the arms, we got this swing of the body. So I'm going to start putting in some mass for the body here. Get that other leg. This shoulder's kind of coming forward. This one is kind of turning toward the back. Put a little swoop for the sword there, the head, and there we go. So let's do one more. Okay, let's go back to this woman here, and let's kind of analyze this. We've got this, I would say the line kind of comes through her, from her head down through this leg, which as we can see is supporting most of her weight. You see her heel is flat here with this back leg, whereas with the front leg she's up on her toes. So we can kind of surmise that this back leg is what's bearing most of her weight. And I think we'll find that the central line is often the one that goes from the head down through the leg that is the primary weight bearer. I'm not sure that's always the case, but it's going to be the case quite a bit. So we got this line coming here. This leg kind of opposes it a little bit, with kind of an opposing curve. The shoulders here, arms. So let's go ahead and let me get rid of that. And then let's draw it out. So we're going to start nice big swoop for that initial leg. I'm going to put the hips in here about halfway down. Another swoop for this other leg, opposing. Almost, this almost looks like a curtsy kind of motion. These shoulders kind of, the tilt opposes the hips a little bit. That's a common thing you're going to see that makes figures look, gives them some motion and some energy, is to have the hips, the tilt of the hips and the twist of the hips opposing the tilt and twist of the shoulders. Okay, so there's the head. We're going to put some mass for the torso here. Build this leg. And these are just simple drawings. We're not really worrying about the anatomy very much. We're just trying to get a nice pose, a nice feeling of movement to the figure. This one came out a little bit weird. I'm gonna stretch that out a little bit. And that should be pretty good. All right, let's move on to this guy again. And once again, we'll analyze the figure. We can see that swoop coming down from the head through the foot. Now in this pose, it looks like his weight is a lot more evenly distributed, but still we can see that this line, if we tried to follow through the other leg, we would see that the line kind of changes direction a few times. That might be different if we're looking at it from different angles, but from this angle we have a nice clean swoop this way, and then almost like a nice S curve through the arms and shoulders there, and then another little curve here. So here we go. We're going to start with that nice, with that nice swoop. We're going to give him this S curve through the shoulders. The head is pretty upright. I'll put those hips there. He got out of hand a little bit. Let me move him up. Okay. We got that. We got this arm kind of coming out this way, and this one coming up here. We can put that little sword through. All right, and let's see. Let's do another one. We'll go back to this young lady here. Now this one, this kind of goes against what I told you earlier about the line, the main line following the foot that's planted, because here we can see this kind of, there's a break in that line here, and it kind of swoops through this way. You may notice that we've got this beautiful S curve going through many of these figures. I'm definitely going to talk about S curves and C curves later on. Those are very important aspects of line. But anyway, right now we got this nice curve here. We got this one here. Arm. This arm's kind of hidden. So yeah, so that's good. And let's go ahead and do our gesture here. I'm gonna do this one a little loose. I'm not really gonna, well, I was gonna say I'm not really gonna do the whole like stick figure thing, but it's hard for me not to because I'm so used to it. Let's let her torso bow out a little bit here. Here's the leg she's standing, bearing her weight on. Here's this one kind of trailing out behind. Got that hand. This hand kind of, it's partially behind. But yeah, that should work. All right, let's see. Let's go down to her. All right. So here, we could really, you know what? I'm going to do two opposing lines, because we've got kind of a nice S-curve going from the head down to this leg, and then we've got another line going through this arm and swooping down through that leg. So that's kind of cool. It's almost creating like an X. So let's start here. Whoops. Here's that one from the head down through the foot, and then here's the arm. Goes down through the other foot. I'll put some lines for the hips, some lines for the, a line for the shoulders. Head tilted. Just put in the legs. Okay, let's try another one with her. Let's see. I feel like this one, kind of an S-curve this way, and the arms don't really carry through the whole figure like they do on this other one. We almost have like kind of two S-curves going from the head down through the legs. So let's start again. We got that tilt of the head down through the leg, and then this one. So you can see we've got the head tilt, the body kind of tilting to the side, and the hips projecting forward a bit. I'll put a line in for the hips, a line for the shoulder. Again, you can see that they're kind of opposing each other like this. They're not, the same. So put those legs in. Alright, we did a couple of this sword guy. Let's jump down to this guy. He's got kind of an interesting squat pose while he holds this gun. So let's see. We're just gonna have this kind of C curve here, and then the lower leg is a separate, kind of a separate line. The energy doesn't carry straight through, but this is enough for us to work with right here. There's gonna be the shoulders. So yeah, let's go ahead and draw this guy. I've got this deep C curve here with the shoulders kind of intersecting it. Here's the leg. Here's the other leg back here. We can't really see the foot there. I'm going to fake it. Head. Yeah, that's about right. Maybe I would move this head a little bit. Okay, and then let's do one more with this guy. You got another one of these little crouching poses. So let's see. He's kind of gonna, I'm gonna follow this line through the head, down through this leg here. I don't know. Really, that's kind of arbitrary because there isn't really a great line of action. You know what? Actually, this line coming from the head down through the shoulders to the hand is a pretty good one. And, you know, much like I said before about the weight bearing, this hand is bearing weight here, which may be why it's giving us such a nice curve there. So, yeah, we can work with that. All right. So let's go one more. Let's start with this S curve of the hand, the head, shoulder, down to the hand. Got this back. This other leg coming out here. This is a pretty difficult pose, actually. And then we can barely see that other arm, but it's coming somewhere like this, holding this gun. So anyway, yeah, let's look over those again. Hopefully we understood a little something from that. Now I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these and just do some figures from imagination. We're going to use some of the same principles that we've used here. I'm going to start. Let's see. I'm going to put a little ground plane here so that I have something to kind of work off of. And then I'm going to start with. I'm going to just do some lines as if these characters are kind of leaping about, right? Put some hips, put some shoulders, and we can always, like I said, often or always try to oppose the hips to the shoulders. Let's see. That one's a little silly. I don't know if that one works. And let's see. Most of these were C curves. For usually, if you have a C curve for the whole figure, you have kind of an exaggerated athletic, balletic kind of movement, whereas the S curves are often more of a standing sort of grounded pose. Let's see. All right, let's do a few more. We'll try to make these a little more grounded, rather than people leaping and spinning about. We'll do some just kind of standing. And like I said, these are gonna be more like we'll see more S curves. And you know, I'm not really starting with an idea for the poses here. I'm just kind of getting a line with some energy to it and figuring out the pose. This one's got a nice, the way this line projects forward makes me think of a kind of a nice projecting leg there. This one doesn't have much to it. It's all right. Doesn't have to be very exaggerated. Little hand on the hip pose maybe. Let's see. I don't like this one. It's kind of indistinct. It's just simple S curve. Let's have the face looking up. Hips back. Okay. Well, anyway, yeah, so that's a little bit about gesture drawing. I hope it was helpful to some of you. If you have any questions, please go ahead and leave them in the comments. And I'll see you next time. Thanks.